I'm going to try making me a tarp, a chair, it can be a hammock, a poncho, whole 9 yards, just like all of our stuff. So it'll be a PSS series, Dyneema. So it gives you the strength nearly, I mean we're approaching the strength of an HD poncho in an ultralight weight. So it's just astonishing. Alright, so this is my first attempt at Dyneema for a hammock. Obviously that's a pretty small hammock. This is why I have to come camping, because I have to test things. My stomach is filled with butterflies. The concept here is just to make a seat. So I'll string up to the trees and then just sit in this and see what happens. There might be something you have to learn about using adhesives. I don't know. Some kind of bonding tape or something. And they say never pitch a hammock higher than you're willing to fall. I don't know, man. I don't know. Should I be worried? It's only a couple feet to the ground. So I've got my whole body weight on it here. When I talk about Dyneema, they talk about building a fabric, not like weaving a... Well, they are starting to weave Dyneema too, but this kind right here is... The idea is it's very lightweight and it's absolutely waterproof. And so you kind of have that little deal of very strong. So it can be lightweight and strong. But my question was, well, you know, if the fibers were all running unidirectionally and we fold it over and stitch it like the hammock, will those threads want to strip? Will they want to strip out through that fiber? That was my worry. But apparently it's not anything I really got to worry about. So test number 1, getting ready to make a Dyneema hammock. I think we can call this a success right here. So it'll be a PSS series, Dyneema. Whew. I'm feeling better. You make a poncho at 9 ounces that you can lay in as a hammock, use it as a tarp, use it as a chair, and all that, and it's absolutely 100% waterproof. I mean, and it's actually got still pretty darn good puncture resistance. I mean, what the heck? That's pretty awesome. I'm up camping. I'm out on the desert. As usual, I'm trying different things, new things, alternatives, all that sort of thing. And I've got a little something right here. This is a prototype of a ultralight poncho. And this thing right here right now is sitting at under 8 ounces. It calculates out that it should be stronger than even our regular ponchos, even though it weighs considerably less. This poncho right here, we're designing it, working it so that it'll be a poncho, it can be a hammock, it can be a tarp, just like our other stuff, our other gear. And it's made out of Dyneema, or formerly known as Cuben fiber. And so it's very strong and light. And even this little tiny strip, thin little strip of... I'm about going to cut my fingers trying to break this thing, as tiny as that thing is. And that's what this whole deal is made out of. Theoretically, it ought to be not as strong as our HD, but getting close to it, and yet be lighter than our sil nylon or sil poly. So I'm going to rig this up right now. This particular one is, we've been doing testing for several months now. You know, this is kind of the next step in the testing. We've been doing some other strength testing, different ways and stuff like that, testing some construction techniques and all that. This would be considered as just a hammock right now. We've got to still add the hood and stuff like that. It's going to carry the initials PSS because it is in that multifunction series. Actually, this size is a PSS L. So if you look at it here, closely, there's no sewing in the hem here. This is all bonded. It's going to have plastic snaps. Here's the tube that we sew in the end for the cord to come through. That tube is bonded and sewn both. Stuff here, it's so incredibly thin. Look, you can see my hand right through it. I mean, it's see-through. It's just thin and light. It just seems like it wouldn't even work. So see, we get in it, we can bounce, even though it's light. You know, it holds well. So here I am in here. It's plenty sturdy, holds me well, even though it's very light. And one other thing I'm noticing is there is like no stretch whatsoever in this. So the middle is tight and it doesn't give at all. So it's actually, because nothing really gives, it's actually allowing me to have a wide space in here, where with normal fabrics there's some stretch and the sides kind of start to pull in on you. The sides don't pull in at all on you here. All right, since I've got the beast here, I thought I would set the beast in here and just see how that fits. It's almost like a bridge hammock. It's kind of, so that's kind of strange. Something else to consider here is that this fabric also has a very high puncture resistance, much higher than about anything we've got. I mean, HD would be the only thing that would give it a run for its money. And so that's puncture resistance. The other one is tear resistance. It's incredibly high in tear resistance. So it makes a tremendously strong poncho slash hammock slash tarp at a light weight. So we're really excited to be working on bringing that to you. It's going to be a little pricey, so it's going to be just for people that really want it, really need it, that sort of thing. You know, I mean, most people are still going to buy a regular line of ponchos and everything, but there will be a few people who may really want or need something like this, and it'll be worth the effort and the money to get this kind of a product. Like I say, this is definitely not for everybody. This is probably for very few people. Probably a few % of our customers find the value in it for them. I mean, anybody can buy it. We're not going to restrict anybody, but you know, but you got to look at the value for what you want to use it for. One of our other traditional ponchos would probably be better for you. So anyway, so this is kind of a very high-end deal here. Every step of the way as we've tested this thing, we've been more impressed with it than we thought we would be. All right, so I've got the Dyneema Poncho on. So I've just taken it down from being a hammock during 4 days of camping. Nothing on the hood or anything about this is sewn on. Everything with the hood is all bonded. As you can see, works very nicely as a poncho. And absolutely, totally waterproof, being Dyneema. Well, we're just concluding 4 days out camping with our families and everything. Really had a great time. I used the Dyneema Poncho the whole time for my sleeping. You really get some good use out of it sleeping in it. Very comfortable, very nice. It's a little bit different lay when you're in this, because I'm telling you, like, there is zero stretch in this thing. So what you're used to when you get into a hammock, you don't even notice it. It's kind of subconscious. But the thing, a nylon hammock, for example, everything kind of stretches slightly and kind of tweaks and adjusts as you get in. This, you get in there, you're expecting something to kind of sag a little, you got nothing. So it's different, but it does come out a little wider on you. It doesn't wrap tightly around you, so even though you're down in it, it doesn't kind of come up around you like a typical hammock might do, which is kind of cool, I think. So on the hood here, you can see some flange cuts all the way around, and that was all bonded in position. Then we cut a big donut that goes all the way around, and we bonded that over the top of everything. So that really secures the hood in place nicely to this with no sewing. Top part of the hood and all that is all bonded, no sewing there. Also on the hood, we tried something a little different here, and that is to kind of hold the weight down, we didn't use any grommet. We actually bonded some extra layers of Dyneema here, and then punched a hole through the whole thing. Then we put Dyneema latchet cord through here as the drawstring cord, and we put a micro cord lock. Look how tiny that thing is. Put a micro cord lock on there. It's still got a good bite on the cord. So far this Dyneema poncho is working well. I'm at about 9 ounces as equipped right at the moment. I'm a little undecided on how to do the snaps exactly. I think the default's going to have to be on this thing when we offer it will be that you get plastic snaps. We found some really nice secure plastic snaps, really sturdy. I've got some that I snapped on some scraps of material that I carry in my pocket that I unsnap and snap all day long. I've been doing that for weeks now, and it's holding up really nicely, does really well, worked good in here. With the plastic snaps, I can't directly make all of our accessories work, like the Osney cloak, the underquilts, you know, the Osney narrow blanket, all that kind of stuff, the fleeces. I can't directly snap them into this if I use the plastic snaps. They're not interchangeable. It'd take a couple ounces more weight or so to put metal snaps in, so we may offer that as an option. So if you really want to go light, you just want to avoid it all, you can get the plastic snaps. But if you have a bunch of our accessories already or plan to get them and you want to use them with this, then you might opt, you know, to put a couple extra ounces into the thing and go with the metal snaps. Even with you know, a couple ounces extra for metal snaps, you're still got a super light poncho hammock type setup that is, you know, approaching the strength of the HD. So that allows you to really carry some heavier weight in this thing and still be ultra light. So we're pretty pleased with it. It's pretty exciting.